The attribute that I think means the most to me is that he is a God who redeems and restores. As you look around, you'll see a lot of evil out in the world. But if you look closely enough, you'll see shadows of that same evil in your own heart. And I think that's the horrifying reality, is that we know things are not well out there, but if we're really honest, we know that things aren't well inside as well. And for me, there I was, a 19-year-old kid trying to find life in all the wrong places. I was raised right by my parents. I knew right from wrong. And in fact, I never had a moment in my life where I didn't believe in God, but it just didn't make much of a big difference. So often I would test the limits and do whatever I thought would bring the greatest sense of adventure in the moment, and it got me in a lot of trouble. Whether it was fights or cheating on tests, taking the shortcuts in life, or getting expelled from school for doing things that I shouldn't have been doing just because I was pursuing that next adventure or rush. It really took its toll on me and my family. I mean, those 4 years were setting my life on a trajectory for the next 40. And it was college where I was pledged in a fraternity for all the wrong reasons. And there, the chaplain of the fraternity, he called me out, and he called me what I was, a hypocrite. It convicted me to the core, and to be honest, I knew I needed to get things right with God. God showed up, and he met me where I was. And I got down on my knees my freshman year, and I just said, God, I'm sorry. I know that you died on the cross to forgive me of my sins, and Lord knows, no matter how hard I tried to be good or to do things right, ultimately I would fail, and I would end up doing the things I didn't want to do. And I think it led to a place in my life where I just desperately cried out and said, Jesus, please save me from myself. I've got a lot of need for your forgiveness. But what I haven't done is recognize that you're God, you're in control, and that my life is really your life, and I want to live in a way that honors you. From now on, as best I know how, I surrender. And when I did that, I really meant it. No dove came down from heaven. I thought maybe I'd get a crow or something. But, I really meant it that night. And it was 2 nights later that I was at a party, and I faced some temptations that up to that point I hadn't been able to walk away from, but that night I did. There was a new desire in my heart to live right and to honor God. It wasn't long after that, as I started growing in my faith, I gave what I thought would be just my first year of my career to the Lord. It's now become a 21-year career in full-time ministry, mostly as a chaplain in the military for Special Forces soldiers and for Major League Baseball players with the Marlins. I think so often in life, God redeems and restores brokenness in our lives, and that's where our passion and purpose come from. I'm so glad that chaplain reached me in really one of the most formative times of my life. And now I'm getting to be that for others. It's been one of the greatest privileges of my life to come alongside these men and remind them where our true hope and our true identity come from. And when I remind young men about whose they are, it's a good reminder to me as well. I'm reminded of the scripture that says he's a God who redeems and restores the years that the locusts have eaten. I think all of us have regrets. I know I sure have my fair share in my own life. But I'm so encouraged in scripture that God uses men and women who are a little slow to catch on, or who have, let's just call it, colorful pasts for his glory, and they're good, that God often redeems and restores what was once broken in your heart and life. And I know the same will be true for you as you lean into what seems to be brokenness and pain in your life, but God restored. And I'm just excited about the adventure of following Christ and where he's going to take me and what he's going to do through me and how he's going to use me almost in spite of myself. So I'd have to say the greatest attribute of God that means the most to me is that he is my Redeemer. And I know that my Redeemer lives, and I want to live for him.